You guys can see it is really tiny. Alright everyone, welcome back to Joe Man's Land. I hope you're having an amazing day. I know it's been a hot second since I made my last video, but I am back and here we go. Today we're going to be talking about a cinematic guru, a man who has pioneered the way for many different filmmakers in the industry, and that is Michael Bay. Put up your hand if you've heard of him.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Bueller.
Yes, I know, of course, we've all heard of Michael Bay, but he has really perfected a very famous shot that a lot of other filmmakers now use. And that shot is the epic hero shot. We've seen this in Bad Boys all the way to Transformers, and they really create cool moments that create an epic backdrop behind the protagonist or antagonist, and really allows you to engage with the actor or actress in question. So today we're going to talk about how you can duplicate that shot with gear you might already have. Yes, if you've seen the Make Art Now video, which is amazing, he goes into how you can create this in your backyard using a cinema camera and a counterweight and a giant rod. I don't have any of that, but if you'd like to see his build, check him on my left hand here. Today we're going to be doing it with gear you most likely already have. But what is that gear? Today we're going to be doing it with the Mini 3 Pro, which is just a great little drone that I've had for the last little while, actually about a year now, and I love it a ton. So we'll be using this drone to capture these moments. All right, now that we've got the drone up, let's talk about settings. What am I using to get this? So as you guys can see, we are in cinema mode, and that's because we want the drone to go nice and slow. Regardless of how low we get for the shot, we don't want things to be moving too fast. And then in terms of my frame rate, we will change that. Right now I'm in 4K 60. We're going to lower that right down to 4K 24 frames per second because most cinematic things we see are shot in that frame rate. Aside from that, I'm leaving everything else in auto, and we'll do some low flies close to me. I'm going to use object tracking where you draw a box around your subject, and I'll use that to track me, and we'll see how it turns out. I've never done this before, so this is a trial by fire. All right, so let's talk about what worked and what didn't work. Well, as I'm sure you guys could tell, the shots definitely didn't look nearly as good as what the man, the myth, the legend Michael Bay does. I was more like a pond as opposed to a bay of water, but it was really fun to try. I did start out shooting with this in manual, just using the subject tracking. That was really great. One downside was I had to put it into sport mode when I wanted to not have obstacle avoidance turned on, which to get those really close shots to the ground, you have to do. And when you're doing that and you're in sport mode, it moves fast. That's why it's called sport mode. So slowing that down was really, really difficult. And you know, I would say it was definitely a challenge for me. The other thing as well is whenever you're watching clips from Michael Bay and they're really punching on the subject and there's a lot of bokeh, meaning blur between the subject and the background and a lot of movement, it's because they're usually using a 50mm to 85, even a 110mm lens. That's not what this is. This is probably right around a 23mm full frame equivalent, and you just can't get that kind of separation. Not to mention this isn't a full frame or cinema style camera, so therefore getting that much separation between the subject and the background is just not possible. Yes, it's got a 1.7 set aperture, which is great, but you know, you are limited. Man, I almost wonder if you could create it with like the mega monopod. Right now I'm just using my Osmo Pocket 2 on like the longest tripod ever. What do we think? Does this work, or does this just give people motion sickness? I feel like it's probably gonna be motion sickness. So in the comments below, let me know what you thought of this video. Perhaps you've got a tip, a trick, or something that you would recommend for people trying to copy the Michael Bay look. Definitely would say I still love this drone, but I'm not sure if it's the right tool for what I'm trying to do. But maybe a more experienced pilot has done it, and I will do my best to find it. Well, folks, I think we're gonna wrap this one here. Ton of fun shooting this today, but definitely a real challenge. If you like what you're seeing, please drop a like, consider subscribing to the channel. It does not cost you anything. And I was told by a rep, potentially at a different camera manufacturer, that once I hit 50,000 subscribers, I might actually get sent some gear to review. So if you're tired of seeing me just shooting the more budget-friendly things that I'm able to afford on this channel, please subscribe. It does help, and we'll get to that 50,000 mark, and maybe we'll get some subsidized gear. Anyways, let's leave this here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and remember to take beautiful photos every single day. Don't do it for the views, do it for yourself, and don't let anyone tell you you can't try to be Michael Bay. See you in the next one.